it's David Raz here. In this video, we're going to be showing how this beat was created. First thing was, I did not create the sample. This was actually sent to me by Svarg. In the next section, he's going to go over how he broke all this down. But basically, it sounds like this. If you like content like this where we break down beats, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting more videos in the future. Alright, without further ado, Svarg is now going to go over the beat breakdown.
So I started off with this key sound from Analog Lab. The pattern without any effect sounds like this. Basically all I did was rendering it out, then I applied those effects here, like I got a parametric EQ2 for a high cut and a low cut. After that another EQ instance for boosting the mids a bit and taking out a harsh frequency. Then just basic reverb and delay, and after that most important thing, the halftime. And after that like this bubbly vinyl effect, which I really like actually. And yeah, and rendered, and with those effects it sounds like this. The second sound I added was this piano from Scorch. I just took the chords of the sample and like did some kind of arpeggio with them. Yeah, I also rendered it out again and reversed it in this time. The effects are two EQs again, like high and low cut, and I was boosting the mids again. Then I applied reverb, sidechain, and with the limiter I cut off the peaks, and the sample sounds like this. So the next thing I added is some kind of bass, also from Scorch, and it sounds like this. And I'm just following the root notes right there, so it sounds like this. I also rendered it again here. I just added an EQ, then pancakes, so the sound pans from the left to the right. It's just for stereo. And I also added sidechain and those wobbly vinyl effects again. So the next sound I added is a piano from Scorch, which sounds like this without any effects. And I also followed the root note just like as the bass, and sounds like this. Yeah, and I also rendered it again, and same as the bass, I did nothing that special. Just added high and low cut again, boosting the lows a bit for like more dark vibes. Then like basic reverb and wave shaper to like kind of distort the sound a little bit. And also vinyl for like this wobbly effect again. So the last sound I added is a violin for the melody, which sounds like that. And created a pattern like in the basic scale, but what I did then is I was pitching it up 3 semitones, and now it sounds like this. So now it's actually out of scale, but what I did now is I rendered it out again and then I pitched it back down, and this like gives the sample a certain texture which you like don't get actually from the piano roll. For effects I added a parametric EQ2 again for high and low cut, and I added another EQ for cutting the highs even more, then basic reverb and delay, and also this vinyl. And with effects it sounds like this. So after that I consolidated everything and routed it to a mixer, and for effects we have an EQ again which cuts the lows at 90 Hz and another EQ to cut the highs, and this like makes the sample more dark in some kind of way. And I also added vinyl and tube compressor with the settings here. And the final thing I did is I pitched it down 2 semitones, like so from D sharp to C sharp, and I added this vinyl crackle, which you can hardly hear, but it adds some kind of texture. And the final sample sounds like this.
Now that you saw the loop breakdown by Svarg, let me show you how I created this beat here. So first thing was I created this section, and then everything else was just a rearrangement of this main loop here so we could focus on this. Alright, so first we have the sample. Alright, so first thing was I sent this to a new mixer channel, and what I did was just do some basic EQing of cutting out some annoying frequencies and some low and high end. So before it sounded like this. And then after. Next was this reversed. As you can see, I turned the volume down a lot. And the reason why I created this reverse part was for the hook, we want to add some extra sound here. Then we have this part right here. Just some basic omnisphere sound in the note of C sharp. Just a bell plugin, right? And this just adds a little bit more to the actual sound altogether. You can't really tell, but it's there in the background. That's why I put some reverb also and turned the volume down a lot. Next, we have the 808. So just a basic 808 pattern. Little glide right there. And this 808 is coming from the Codeine package. This is a drum kit I got a couple of years ago. And then for effects, I have some blood overdrive, some cutting of the high ends and boosting the low ends, and then just a limiter to make sure it doesn't go over 0 decibels. Right. Next was the kick, which follows the 808. Just a simple EQ. So here for the claps. Next was the claps. I actually have 3 claps. I got this. And then that's all the way on the left side and really turned down. So together it sounds like that. And just cutting out the low end and a little bit of reverb, but turned down a little at the end. Next was the hi-hat pattern. So as you can see, nothing crazy, just at the end, a little roll. And for EQ, then we have this open hat. Next was this little perk sound. Yeah, so that was pretty much the meat of the beat. Everything else was just arrangement, just cutting out different parts and different parts of the beat. So in the intro we have...
Is that David Raz?
Then we have this little hi-hat and open hat come in. What I think makes a big difference is adding in this reverse snare. So before the snare sounded like just a regular snare and just reversing it. And also I took the laugh from my tagline and also reversed that and kind of mashed it up with the reverse. So before it sounds like this. But I feel like with the reverse snare it really drives home the transition. And then we have this little transition to the next part, but without the laugh. And right here, I'm just reintroducing this mysterious sound. And every time we go back to the hook, I'm also introducing this laugh with the reverse snare. So that was pretty much the same for that, and then for the outro, just leaving behind the 808 and the sample. Then finally on the master, we have a multi-band compressor, just mastering 2.4 decibels preset, and then the limiter to make sure it doesn't go over this value right here. But yeah, that's pretty much the beat, and now I'm going to play the final beat here so you can have a listen.
Is that David Raz?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can reach out to me on Looperman, or also get my email from the YouTube About page on here.